These areas of item management, traceability, visibility, all rely on data, right? But the data is only good as the people that are behind it and the governance that these companies have in place in regards to data stewards, reviewers, contributors, all of those people behind the scenes, I think play that critical role in data analytics and data development.
Hello and welcome to the Next Level Supply Chain with GS1 US, a podcast in which we explore the mind-bending world of global supply chains, covering topics such as automation, innovation, unique identity, and more. I'm your co-host, Reid.
And I'm Liz.
And welcome to the show.
Reid and I just finished up a conversation with James Chronowski, Vice President of Account Management at GS1 US today. We were able to chat about trends in the supply chain that he's been seeing as he's been out speaking with industry members, things like automation, AI, risk management, smart logistics, and how important it is to talk both internally in your organizations and externally to make sure that everybody's aligned with what's happening. We also talked about one of my favorite topics, which was data and data quality, and how important it is to have that foundational information, especially as you're starting to talk about things like AI and machine learning. Hey, James, welcome to the show. We're really excited to have you today.
Thank you very much, Liz and Reid. A pleasure to be here.
So let's just first level set. Tell us about yourself, your role, your history at GS1 US.
I've been here since birth, as I like to say. My role within GS1 actually started out over 20 years ago. I actually started off as an intern, worked within the standards organization, kind of played around in the technology standards world, really focused on key data quality, data synergies, data excellence within GS1 US. And then around the 2010 timeframe, I really wanted to move from the back of the house to the front of the house, as they say in the restaurant industry, and really look at a customer experience, customer focus, be that forward facing to the customer voice. So I've been over the last 13 years in the community engagement, market development side, and really leading our account management team today for GS1 US, which is really exciting. It's a new journey for us.
Yeah, James, you do have a ton of experience. And I love that you said you've been here since birth because you started as an intern and you've grown. You've seen the company change. You've seen industry change. And you just have so much real world experience across different environments. I'd love to get your take on what are you seeing as some trends in the supply chain industry that have kind of kicked up over the last year or so, and where do you see them kind of going on the horizon? I mean, we're coming close up to 2025 here.
It's a great question, Reid. And I think I go back to some of the things that we, in the beginning of the year, right, coming out of, 2023, 24, into 25, right? In this 2024 year, we really saw some of the things, especially within the account management world, with those large brands, large manufacturers, large marketplaces that we're working with. A couple of things, and I kind of highlighted 5 that I'd like to just kind of walk through. First and foremost, it's all about digital transformation. I think the integration of anything, digital technologies, big data, data quality, advanced analytics, right? Where this data is going to help us out, really to perform really one thing: automation. And that's kind of how the supply chain is really looking at automation as a whole and how these technologies can really help support that. I think second, I would really talk about sustainability, right? In the whole world of what we call supply chain visibility, I'll also see some of the things of sustainability as a whole, really through environment and some of the things that the companies are looking at, really to gain that level of importance. I think companies are really prioritizing environmentally, specifically those friendly practices, sustainable sourcing, things that they want to pass down to the consumer as the consumer is actually looking for those requirements and consumer expectations, right? Are the sourcing being met against what regulations we have today? Those are some of the things that we're also hearing. I would not be remiss if I didn't talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think we hear AI and ML always expressed throughout any talks and tracks that we have today. It's also a trend that we've heard over the past year, increasingly used to optimize specific supply chain operations. So thinking about predicting demand, right, from a demand side partner. I also think that from a supply side, it's also managing inventory. Fourth, I think in my world, risk management, right? Accounts are coming to us and saying, how can you support us with these ongoing disruptions, right? There's a strong focus in building resilient supply chain, and we've heard it within top to top meetings and what we call mid to mid meetings or strategic meetings. I think some of these things that we talk about, we hear about diversification of suppliers, enhancing risk, right, prediction, improving response strategies, not only just from account management practices, but as these companies really support on behalf of their memberships and also their customers as well. And last but not least, I would also say for that fifth and rounding out is smart logistics. What does that really mean? I think real-time tracking and tracing of smart logistics solutions have become really prevalent. And really, we've been hearing it from these large global brands and these manufacturers and retailers of how can we support that? How can we be transparent in the supply chain with managing logistics more effectively and efficiently? So I think in that calendar year of 24, these are some of the things that we've been hearing. Also, looking ahead to next year in 2025, I think advanced technology and AI is going to be ramping up more and more. We've heard it within several of these meetings. We hear it more each day within just several conversations with our leadership teams. It's out there, right? And I think that folks are really looking at it to, as I mentioned before, about prediction and prediction analysis. Leveraging that technology in the right way from a data quality perspective is really important. I also think sustainability and core strategies will be out there, as well as advanced topics. I think additionally, partnerships and collaboration. Now, you may say to yourself, aren't we already doing that today, right? I think we are. But I would also say that stakeholders really need to be informed and have that crucial information at their fingertips. Data sharing is important, whether it be electronically, virtually, what have you. I think that there's a lot of areas that we can help support that, but also really see the need of enhancing that in the long term as we look at 25, 26, 27 in the future thinking of strategies.
That's excellent. I mean, that was pretty in depth and you covered a lot of areas and they all made a lot of sense. So I appreciate that.
Is there a way that small companies need to have a different lens when thinking about those trends?
I would say yes, but in a unique way. The whole philosophy of some of the technologies that are out there, and maybe I'll just pick on the AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning technology at a whole, right? I think small, medium enterprises, micro companies, organizations, they can take a look at it, right? They could probably divest some of the time and intelligence into doing that. But where's the rubber meet the road when it comes to these large global brands going out there and identifying team over team and capital expenditure and folks to really dive in headfirst into the AI world? Maybe from a small to micro lens, maybe they just dip their toe in, right? I think that, but it's going to, the philosophy is still there. I think that based where you are in the spectrum from the supply chain world, from an organization standpoint, really you want to get ahead of yourself and re-educate yourself on all of those things before diving in headfirst like some of these large global brands like to do.
No, it's very interesting. And it seems to be relative, right? I mean, if you're a large organization, you're going to invest X amount. And if you're a small organization, you might be investing X amount and it's relative to your environments. I'd kind of like to understand, because I know you have a bit of a background in this, but
Yeah.
where does the role of data come into, these trends? Like, is data more important, less important? I was just sitting in on a presentation last week, and I'm interested to see your take on this because it was a different group. You weren't in the room or anything like that, and I was like, wow, that's a real juicy nugget. I'll share it, but I'd love your opinion.
I go back to the Hamilton play, right? We're not in the room where it happened. So I would kind of answer your question with kind of a rhetorical question. Where does data not play a heavy role, right? And I think that from a data analytics perspective and just big data and some of the things that are out there and these leveraging these technologies to help support and make those business decisions, I will tell you that the role of data and also data quality and the people behind the data, the governance structure behind it, I think really plays a significant role in any business decision that these companies are going to make. And I go back to sustainability and some of the things from a supply chain visibility scale. These areas of item management, traceability, visibility, all rely on data, right? But the data is only good as the people that are behind it and the governance that these companies have in place in regards to data stewards, reviewers, contributors, all of those people behind the scenes, I think play that critical role in data analytics and data development.
Your answer really correlates to the conversation that was happening last week I was sitting in. So Little context, Liz, it was, Google, Amazon, and a couple of very large companies in this room talking about AI. And conversations went on forever, but Google and Amazon emphasized the importance of authentication of identities. And that can be multi-layered, but if you think of a person, is it really James Chronowski or is it an imitation? Is it really the product with its product ID or global trade item number, or is it made up? Because they said, at the end of the day, we're teaching machines to learn. So if you taught the machine that 12 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. was actually day and 12 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. was night, that's what it knows. That's what it was taught. That's what it was learning. It doesn't know the difference between light and day. We really got existential here a little bit, but they said, you can have the best AI in the world, but if you don't have strong data behind it with good learnings, it's not going to be as good as you think. It really just came down to fundamentals in it. So I'm glad to hear you say something very similar here.
In every meeting that we talk about data quality, you can see people get not annoyed, but it's definitely not a topic that is super exciting. I say that without good data quality, without that governance, day is going to be night and night is going to be day, right? It's just like this basic thing that people they don't need to start. They need to continue to pay attention to. It's not a one-time thing. James, when Reid and I get on these podcasts, I love to talk about data quality. I could literally go on about this all day, but I wanted to ask you, do you have any advice on how businesses can get ready and be prepared for these upcoming trends and challenges so that they're not, taken off guard?
I'd like to call back to some of the things that I learned early in my career, right? Which is communication and transparency is key, right? So for any of these companies that are out there, large or small, micro, you're working with your trading partners. Get started with them early, right? I think establishing the connection point, establishing the folks that you're going to be working with, whether it be procurement, marketing, solutions, the services, the IT staff, whomever. There's a lot of things that are coming up on the horizon in 2026 and 2027 regarding to next gen data carriers and government regulations for food traceability. I think having those conversations now in 2024 and 25 and to get you prepared is going to set you up for success in the future. Additionally, I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't give a plug for everything when it relates to GS1 standards, right? You have your federation that's behind you that can support these questions and drive you towards some of the areas where right now you may not know, right? It's wading through the myriad of, is this the right standard? What am I doing? What am I not doing? GS1 US can support you, and the GS1 standards can support you. And it's really leveraging that along with the conversations with your trading partners along the way that can support your business journeys.
Yeah, no, I know you gave a selfish plug there for GS1 US, but it's so true. I mean, we have member support services. You can call in and talk to somebody. You can go online. We have tons of educational resources and videos and classes for free, classes you could pay for. We had advisory services. So if you really want to get customized, you can do that. So it is a great resource, especially as a GS1 US member. Some of these are provided to you. Well, before we let you go, because we know you're very busy, we want to ask you one last fun question. And it's about your favorite technology that you're using right now. Could be professional, something you're using every day at work, or it could be personal, something you're using, outside of work. But what's your favorite tech that you're leveraging right now?
I can give you a little bit of both, right? So I think for me, I have the pleasure of being a father to 5 children, all within their teenage years. And today with the smartphone, right, I think, with the apps that we have available, Life 360, I think is a blessing and a disguise when it comes to having a college freshman at a university in Philadelphia, having 3 teenagers, one that's getting ready to drive soon, another 3 that are going out to just on their bikes in the world. Yes, you don't want to spy on them, but it's great. Like when it comes to that witching hour, when it's getting dark out, love to see, hey, where you at, right? And just getting those notifications. But I will tell you, the other day, my wife sent me a screenshot of something of a risky driver. And here I thought it was one of my oldest child. No, it was me. I got flagged for risky driving.
Backfired, huh?
So, like I said, a blessing and a curse all in one. But from a professional standpoint, I do like having some of those. I mentioned AI, and we're leveraging it internally within GS1 US. Having some of those areas where meetings and calls and things that can be summarized with a click of a button in order for us in the day-to-day transgressions of looking at business and things like that, it's welcoming to have some of these technologies right at our fingertips to be able to summarize a call with a client and say, did we get this right? Here's some of the action items. Here's the summary. I think we're on the horizon there of really introducing some of the efficiencies in the day-to-day worker.
That's fantastic. We appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate the time and the insights and the 5 trends: digital transformation, sustainability, AI, risk management, and smart logistics. These are big, meaty, chunky topics. So we appreciate the insights.
They are, and I really appreciate the time, everybody, and I'm glad to do it again.
Thank you for joining the Next Level Supply Chain with GS1 US. If you enjoyed today's show, you can subscribe to our feed or explore more great episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to share and follow us on social media. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.